in Canada, and Jane is in the East Coast, and I'm in California. So it's always very interesting to see where people are. And I have no idea how many people we'll have today. It was kind of short notice. Chat button open. Oh, from Mexico. Wow. Cleveland.
It's me.
Thomas. Well, hello, Thomas. I recognize that name.
We
Yeah,
spoke before on the phone for
Yes.
a long time.
a long
Yeah.
time ago. I don't think we've ever met face to face. So welcome.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing tapping a long time.
I have two now.
Yeah.
How long?
I was introduced to tapping in 1991.
Uh-huh.
So 30 years.
Wow.
It was a phobia cure by Roger Callahan back then.
Uh-huh.
And I've been tapping ever since.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the year I started, 1991.
Yeah. It was just all getting started. It was,
Yep.
and, yeah, and Crystal and I've known each other now for, gosh, I talked to you when I first moved to Michigan in 2005 about the Vet Stress Project.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you know what? There's something that I find it really interesting because I have known about tapping for a long time and I've done it off and on, but I've just been I did the 10-day summit.
Tapping, the summit.
And so then today I got the Dawson Church email and there is a list of practitioners. And the thing that came up for me was that everybody seems to be 40 years old. And in this group, people are clearly older. Because what I also noticed in the Tapping Summit, that everybody is 40 years old. And I learned a lot on general, but 71-year-old people have very different issues that were not addressed.
Well, I'm 75.
And the
So
40-year-olds cannot address it because they haven't lived it. So,
Yeah.
but I was just thinking, I was driving around today that I'm looking to connect with a seasoned practitioner who is my age. So
well, there are a bunch of us.
Well, I'll be 92 this month. So anyone else out there?
there you have it. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm 75. So
Good. Okay, good. So you also know what I'm talking about.
But you know, when you mentioned that everyone was 40 or something, I thought you were going to say, where are the young people? Because that's what I always look at when I see us at 40. I'm thinking, where are the 20-year-olds and the 30-year-olds that should be tapping? You know?
Well, they don't realize yet that they're hurting. It takes some time, right? It actually, I think it starts to happen for most people in their 30s. When they're younger, they don't.
They don't
Everything
think about
seems to
it,
be peaches.
I know a lot of
many
people, a lot of my friends' children, because they learned from me, are tapped all through college
Mhm.
before all their exams, and to keep them, they're tapping all the time. But we haven't, well, I guess because we see them at the conferences, we're seeing
That's
practitioners.
fantastic.
That's why we're seeing older people, but I'd like to see them younger.
Yeah, well, I used to teach college psychology, and I always taught it to my college students, and they loved it. And in the Vet Stress Project, I had 2 young men in their 20s, and they still tap. That was 8 years ago that I did that. And so, yeah, it's great. Well, we're just getting started. People are still coming in, and give it about another minute. So if you've come on, if you put in the chat where you are. So we have Cleveland, Mexico, San Diego, Connecticut, Toronto, Germany, Canada, several Canada, Southern California, Denver, Georgia. So we're international. I love being on these calls because there's often people from all over the world. It's late. I got several responses back to my email with people saying, well, it's 10 o'clock here. It would be 10 o'clock here. And I'm ready for to cut down on screen time. So there'll be people watching the recording. So keep that in mind as we do this. I'm going to give just maybe another minute. Seth, where it says EFT Universe Tech, he's here to help us. If there's tech problems, I can't help. But if you have something particular in the chat, let's see, we don't have the Q&A. So in the chat, if where it says on the bottom, it says to everyone or to Seth EFTU Tech, if you need to ask some tech questions, Seth can help you with that, right, Seth? Good. Okay. And so as people are still coming in, Seth, you're going to be able to let the people in, right? You're letting them in? Great, great. We so appreciate all your help. So for those of you who are just joining and some don't know me, I'm Dr. Rona Meinweiser. I'm a mentor for EFT Universe. I've been a trainer. I've been training EFT for many years. Was introduced to tapping in 1991, so I've been doing this a long time. Also was part of the Veteran Stress Project, working with veterans with post-traumatic stress with EFT. So I have a couple of articles published with that. I love doing tapping circles. What I wanted to say about today is, and I know this, what Dawson sent out was, tapping for COVID fatigue. And I realized when I read it that, that there's two ways of looking at COVID fatigue. And the way in which I said, well, I would do this was God, I'm sick and tired of COVID. I'm fatigued from staying in and all that, and the emotions around that. I am not a medical doctor. I have a degree in psychology. So this won't be about, though I know COVID fatigue, especially during COVID, and for those, what they call them, long haulers. If that's why you joined, we're not going to so much address that, but the emotions, EFT works best when you're working on the emotions and the beliefs and the sensations in your body. Hey, Sherry, here's another EFT mentor. And so that's mostly what I plan to address here. Oh, hi, Hallie. Haven't seen you in a while. Always lovely for me to see people I haven't seen in a while, because I've been doing this quite a long time. So I want to say what it is and what it isn't. And also, as they said on the Tapping Summit, if you're new to this kind of thing, take responsibility for yourself. If we are not set up to deal with the trauma and the we don't have anybody that could take somebody aside in a room to help with distress and trauma. So please take care of yourself. If you start to get triggered, just keep tapping. No matter what we're doing, just keep tapping. There's a note here. So somebody's distressed about COVID news stories about the possibility of So there's lots of things to be distressed and tired about. And where EFT can really help is to help us down-regulate some of those emotions, those feelings, those beliefs. I remember when last year, when the announcement about COVID came out, and our California, my state, closed down pretty fast. And my husband said to me, well, we got to be really careful because we're in that elderly age. He's 70, well, he just turned 78, now I'm 75. He says, we're elderly and we're at high risk. So if we get COVID, we're going to die. So, that's a belief. And I said, please don't say that. We're going to do the best we can to avoid it and take care of ourselves. But, we have these beliefs that pick up from the media, from family, from our childhood. And so some of that may come up today as well. So I wanted to, just to give you a kind of a big picture of where I hope to go today, I wanted to start with the echo meditation. Dawson Church, some of you may not be familiar with it, but I'll just guide you through it. And then I have a couple of questions just for you to reflect on, answer for yourself if you wanted to write down, and put some of it maybe in the chat, and that will give us the foundation for the tapping. So for those of you who might not be familiar, this is all about borrowing benefits. So even if I'm tapping on, I'm sick and tired of watching the news, if that is not your issue, but you just tap anyway, you can borrow benefits, because you're actually, the emotions about being sick and tired can be similar across the board. So let's see. Okay, so it's about time to get started. So I think we've got 48 people. Let me just see if there's anybody else that I wanted to, that I haven't seen for a while and it's on here. Wow, we've got a lot of people now. Okay, great. Okay, so one of the things, as far as if you're not on Zoom a lot, one of the things that can be helpful is to put yourself on, what's that called? A speaker view. So then just the person who's speaking is shown, so you're not distracted by all the little pictures of people doing things. Also, Seth is going to, let me make sure that's right. Seth, you're going to put everybody on mute, correct? Except me. Okay. So I usually don't do somebody to be an echo. So, but I wait long enough so that you can repeat after me. So is there any questions for me before we start? I'm going to put them in the chat. So the focus question is we're focusing on using EFT tapping for the fatigue that I imagine everybody that's here is feeling about dealing with this COVID pandemic. And there's other things out there in the world, in different parts of the world, I know. But this is really focused on COVID fatigue and being, the distress, the worry, the things that make us feel so tired. So, and I'll be asking for those, and you can put them in the chat, and I'll use those to tap. So, okay. So if you're not familiar with the echo meditation, I usually do pieces of it, but I want to do the whole thing today because it's a good way of starting and focusing, and this is on the recording. So, if you're not familiar with it, you can go back to it. Some people like a female voice instead of a male voice. Dawson has the recording out there, so this will give you the opportunity. So before we start, just give yourself this time to just let yourself relax and get relaxed. And if you've got your phone, turn your phones off. This time is for you. It's like a little mini retreat. So I encourage you to sit in a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. And then we're going to tap through the points, probably 2, maybe 3 times 2, through just to hold the intention of being in a calm and peaceful state. So, so just, tapping on the side of your hand. I'm not going to repeat the phrase at every point, but I will repeat the point. So if you want to close your eyes, you want to turn off my screen. So just tapping on the side of your hand, and take a breath in and let it out, and just holding the intention to be in a calm and peaceful state. And tapping on the top of your head. And then tapping on your eyebrow point. And if you choose, you can say to yourself or out loud, I release any and all blocks to inner peace. Inside of the eye, I release any and all blocks to inner peace. And under the eye, I release all tension in my body. And under the nose, I release all tension in my body. And chin point. And collarbone. I release anything in my past, and then under the arm, in the present, back to top of the head, or in the future. Eyebrow that stands between me, inside of the eye, and inner peace. Under the eye, I release any and all blocks to inner peace. Under the nose, to inner peace. And chin, I release all tension in my body. And collarbone. I release anything in my past, present, or future, and under the arm that stand between me and inner peace. So stop tapping and just relax your hands. You might want to shake them out. So this time, close your eyes and let your tongue rest loosely on the floor of your mouth. So just put your attention awareness to your mouth and your tongue, and just relax your tongue. The first time I ever heard this, I had a really hard time figuring out how to do it. But as Dawson says, that relaxed tongue sends a signal to your body that you're not being threatened. So just bringing your attention awareness to your hands, and feel the space inside your hands. And bringing your attention awareness to your feet, and feel the space inside your feet. And then feel the space inside your legs and your torso. And keep breathing. And inside your neck and head, feel the space inside your whole body. And picture a big empty space behind your eyes. Like a big white empty space behind your eyes and between your eyebrows. And if thoughts arise in your mind at any point during the meditation, just let them go. Watch them drift like clouds across the sky without attachment. And now we're going to go to the breath. And I like to use the heart math, the breathing. I put my hands over my heart area in the center of my chest. You don't have to, but that's what I'm doing. So we're breathing slowly, breathing 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out. And I'll kind of count you through it the first time, and then we'll do it a couple more times. So just first exhale, and then breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slowly exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and feel that empty space behind your eyes. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep your tongue relaxed. And I'm going to just let you breathe in and out for your own silent count of 6. And if physical sensations arise, such as aches or pains, just observe them. You don't have to do anything. Just keep your attention focused on your breath, counting in and out. And you can visualize that area in the center of your chest and imagine breathing in and out through your heart, maintaining a relaxed tongue. And as you're doing this, imagine a beam of love pouring out through your heart to a person or a place that you love with each out breath. And as you start that, you might send that loving energy out to everybody on the call here today. For some people, that has a color or a sensation. Noticing how relaxed your tongue is on the floor of your mouth. And noticing the big empty space behind your eyes. Now, bringing that beam of love back into your body, back into the area of your physical heart. Send that love to any part of your body that's uncomfortable or in pain. And then as we end the meditation, we're going to take 3 more 6-second breaths. So breathing in and slowly breathing out. Let your body relax. And breathing in and breathing out. And one more time, breathing in and breathing out. And when you feel complete, returning your attention to the room you're in. You can open your eyes and look at the object closest to you. So observe its characteristics, and then look at something further away. Be aware of yourself in the chair and your hands and feet, just getting yourself grounded back in your body. And Dawson says, if you do this every day for a week, you'll notice how you feel during the rest of the day. Do this every day for a month and you'll be hooked. It only requires 20 minutes, although you might want to increase the time to 30 or 45 minutes. So ours was just a little under 20 minutes. So, and I think the combination of the echo meditation with EFT is just so powerful. And it helps us get into that state where healing is easier to happen. So what are some of the things I'd like to see that we could tap on are just using as a metaphor. And again, we're talking about COVID fatigue in the sense of the fatigue we're all feeling. It's been a year. Somebody said recently, and I wish I could attribute it to, it said the most useless purchase in 2019 was a 2020 planner. And so, because there's so much uncertainty, I mean, nobody expected what last year was going to be like. And now we're all in that space of we don't know what it's going to be like, and there's all these possibilities here. So I would imagine that if you're on this call that you're tired of it too. And so thinking about the question, for yourself, this COVID fatigue is like, and just kind of fill in the blank. What is it like? It gives us a kind of a baseline. And just put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, so we got hopelessness. A day that never ends. Too long for loved ones. Stuck. Annoyed. Bored. Afraid. Groundhog Day. I love that. It's what it is, Groundhog Day. I miss hugs, not seeing elderly parents. Being in the void. Oh, wow. Okay, lots of good stuff to tap on here. The dull-edged sword. Wishing I could plan to see loved ones and plan my future. Oh, I guess we've got a lot to tap on here. So again, for different people, isolation, that's a big part of it too. So, borrowing benefits, thinking about, if you've seen this, oh gosh, a big black sticky monster. I love the metaphors, big black sticky monster. I'll try to get these all in. Double-edged sword. Okay, double-edged, right, because of the gifts and the problems, right? Okay. Okay. So falling down the rabbit hole. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do my best to include as many of these as I can. See if I've missed any. So I'm going to start with Groundhog Day. And if you've never seen the movie Groundhog Day, that's I can't remember who the actor was, that every morning he woke up and he lived the same day over and over again. And that's what it seems like. Bill Murray. Yes, thank you. Okay. So take a breath and just let it out. And tapping, hope you tap along with me. I'll try to pause long enough. If I'm going too fast, let me know. So even though this whole past year has been like Groundhog Day, like falling down the rabbit hole, like a journey without a map. I love and accept myself. And that's what it feels like. Even though I felt stuck and hopeless and like being in the void, I love, honor, and respect myself. And even though it's been like being in prison, and like a sticky monster, or a black sticky monster, and people are experiencing it in different ways. But for me, it's been pretty tough. And I'm tired. And I love and accept myself anyway. So tapping on the top of your head. It's been like Groundhog Day. An eyebrow. I'm tired of COVID. And side of the eye. I'm tired of being isolated. It's been like Groundhog Day. And under the nose, being in the void. Chin point. Feels like I've fallen down the rabbit hole. I feel like I've been in a vice grip, keeping me from my new desires for creativity. Feels like being in prison. And back to the top of it. And I'm tired of it. So take a breath. And I didn't have you rate it before because I'm assuming most of you here are EFT tappers. But just notice what you notice. What may have come up for you where maybe you hadn't thought it was like before, and now you're saying, yeah, that's what it's been like for me. Because we're going to work on the feelings, some of the feelings that, that you've already said, and we're going to do that next. So just let me just change my view and see if there's somebody that's perhaps having any distress or we've got 53 people. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, so good point that Jean made, that in the film Groundhog Day, Bill Murray developed his talents. And at first it was like everything's the same, but then he started being more aware. And I think for a lot of people, there's been some shifts in awareness, or somebody talking about creativity. And somebody was saying it was a two-edged sword, where there's been gifts. And for people who've lost loved ones, people who's been sick, there's much of the time where it has felt like there's nothing good about it, and we're really, really tired of it. So I'm hoping, my hope for this call is that we help at least reduce some of what we're feeling now, release some of the anxiety, the tiredness, and also it's given me a chance to see some people. I see Norma Jean's on here, and people who I know love to tap. So the energy of this call, why don't we just take a moment and as like when we did the echo meditation, sending that heart energy out to anyone who needs this today, who needs some relief from the COVID fatigue, anyone who needs just some feeling of, they may never even know we've done this, but just sending that out, because the energy, we are connected. We can make that connection. So and certainly there's been very different ways in which people have responded to this. So there's some of the emotions are already here, been bored, afraid, helpless, and hopeless. What else? What else have you been feeling that you're tired of feeling? Fear. Mm-hmm. Angry, huh? Okay. Stuck. Tempted to just wait rather than creating the new world. Bored, lost. Immobilized, okay. Okay, so Jane, yeah, this is something also that some people may not be aware of what's happening for them. Frustrated with being so empathic, feeling the world more than usual. So if many of us who do tapping, do energy work, are energy sensitives, and we are picking up other people's stuff all the time if we're not careful, if we don't protect ourselves. And so we're all picking up other people's exhaustion, other people's fear, and it's hard enough dealing with our own. So, you know, doing the tapping, doing the energy medicine zip up, Donna Eden zip up before you go into the grocery store or to the doctor's office, and protecting yourself to keep from picking up other people's stuff. The other thing is, if you watch the news, if you you know, read your you know, the stuff that comes up on your phone, and if you start getting just a little bit activated, tap while you're doing it. I'm not saying don't, because some people are just, you know, they have to know what's going on, but tap while you're doing it so that you calm your nervous system, because our nervous system is getting activated all the time with this. So let's see what else come up here. Fatigue from viewing the craziness of conspiracy theories. Lonely, yeah, lonely, especially people who are live alone and are isolated or are older, overwhelmed. Yes. Well, hi, Anissa. So fellowship community just had a memorial Zoom with 85 people. No opportunity to congregate, mourn, or celebrate together. Yeah. And that's been a big piece of the sadness with this as well, how hard that is to not be able to have things like we've always had them. So, okay. So, and for your own self, and I'm not going to collect SUD scores, but for your own, just, you know, whatever you said and whatever else you're feeling here, just write down your SUD score and let's see if we can at least reduce them a couple of points. I mean, I wish I could wave my magic wand and take it away, but tapping is as close as I can get. Okay, anything else? Yes, and R.C. Smith, we're sorry that you have had a loss that's been difficult to deal with, and having the extra isolation. It's very difficult. But I was reminded by one of my clients that said that, you know, a couple hundred years ago, people were so separated. Somebody left, you know, Ireland. She was talking about her great-great-great-great-grandmother left Ireland to come to the New World, to the US, and nobody ever saw her again, and she couldn't go back and forth. So, you know, in some ways we have advantages over what for much of history has happened, and you know, I mean, whoever thought that Zoom would be the most popular thing on the planet? And so, you know, again, part of it's our belief that this is the way things should be, and they aren't, and therefore it's terrible. And so we'll talk a little bit about beliefs after we get rid of some of these feelings. So take another breath. Just let yourself relax. Okay, and so let's tap on some of these feelings. So even though I'm feeling stuck and immobilized and lost and hopeless, I love and accept myself, even though I don't accept what's going on, or maybe I don't accept what's going on. I would like to let go of the distress of these feelings. So even though I'm afraid and I feel hopeless, and I miss my family. I haven't seen my grandkids for a year and a half, or my son. I miss, you know, most of us are missing people though. And it's sad. But I'm thankful that for FaceTime and Zoom and the telephone, that works really well as well. And I'd like to be able to let go of some of this distress that I'm feeling, because it doesn't help me right now. So even though I feel fatigue from dealing with the conspiracy theories, worrying about political situations, worrying about the health of myself, my family. It's tiring, and I'm tired of it. I choose to let go of some of it anyway, because I deserve it. Maybe I can't let it all go, but maybe I can let go of some of it. So tapping on the top of your head. Feeling angry. Eyebrows stuck. Side of the eye. Immobilized. Under the eye. Isolated. Under the nose. Lonely. Chin point. Sad. Bored. Missing being with people. And so tired of it all. I'm just so tired of it all. So just take a breath, loosen up your arms, maybe shake your hands out. What other emotions are coming up? Just notice if yours went down into or some others came up. More sadness. Not feeling safe. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. And just to I mentioned about being energy sensitive, some of you know I'm an inveterate learner, and I've been studying polyvagal theory, and one of the things they talk about is that feeling of safety and how important that is, and that this is Stephen Porges. He talks about what's called neuroception, which is that where our nervous system is sending out these feelers. Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? And one of the proponents of that, Deb Dana, was saying on something I watched a couple of weeks ago that because in actuality, there is a lack of safety out there with all the stuff that's going on. There is a real and perceived lack of safety, and that we get triggered, and that it's really important to, whenever you find yourself triggered, to do something, to do the breathing, to do the tapping. If those of you who know havening, to do the havening, to do the tap pose, to do something. And we need to have our own self-care. And so EFT is a basic self-care tool. We just need to do it. And so, every day ask yourself, how am I feeling now? And if you don't like the way you feel, do something. Tap, breathe, even just taking a quick breath. No, excuse me, let me not just say a quick breath, because quick breaths can activate you more. So to taking the slow breath and tap, and even tapping on one place can be helpful. So let me see what else has come up. Lonely, overwhelmed with sadness, not feeling safe, have tears, so maybe releasing bad energy, I hope so. Yeah, and so, and asking yourself, am I not feeling safe right now? What do I need to feel safe? And that's something you can tap on as well. So I want to make sure that we cover all these different areas. And certainly if there's something that's triggered you and you haven't been able to release it, you can watch I don't know how long it takes before the recording comes up. That's the other thing that I wanted to ask. So what are the thoughts about this that are causing you distress? You know, some of those have come up and we've tapped a little bit, the thoughts or beliefs about this. And we're not going to get into, you know, who's right, who's wrong. But you know, what's causing you distress? So, yeah, so even with tapping and energy medicine, feeling frantic and powerless with my daughter, I'm reading this because there are people on the phone. When my daughter and her husband and my very young grandboy were all ill for several months in Scotland, and I was here, and I could only pray and send angels, and I hope they are okay, Jane. What are some of the thoughts and beliefs that that might be causing you distress? The thought of a loved one dying or getting super sick. Mhm. We may have tapped on some of it already. Oh, and Seth, I just got a note from Seth that the recording should be up later today. Great. I believe this will never end. How much longer? Mhm. Okay. I'll never get to see the beauty of smiling faces. Fear of not being able to take care of myself with no one to help. Now, 76. Shutting ourselves out and down. Mhm. And certainly, you know, some of these beliefs and fears are, you know, are valid. I'm not saying that they're wrong or they're not correct. And again, looking at how this might cause you distress when you are powerless to do whatever you need to, that you think needs to be done. Making a decision about the vaccine, fear of the new virus. Yeah, wow. Loss of individual freedoms. How will I get rid of OCD hand washing worsened by COVID? Yeah. Yeah. So lots of thoughts, and I know, you know, excuse me, I suggest you get a drink of water because we've been doing a lot of tapping. But some of my clients are very anxious, and these thoughts go running around and around and around their head. And so if you can, you know, intervene on that thought loop, you know, can cause you less distress. Wow, yeah. Ooh. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so let me see what we can do here. We've just got about 15 minutes. Okay. So I might miss some of these because I didn't write them all down, but I'll do the best I can. So if you wrote it on here and I didn't include it, please, you know, add it for yourself. So take another breath and tapping. Even though sometimes I think this will never end. How much longer do we have to put up with this? Will I never be able to see smiling faces again? Will I only be able to see masks? And I can get really wound up in these beliefs. And I'd like to be able to let go of some of the activation around them. We don't know how long it's going to be. More than likely, it's not going to be forever. And we don't know how much longer. But all we have is the now. So if we can be in the now, and let go of some of this activation. So even though I have these fears about the vaccines, the controversy, good, bad, should, shouldn't, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different experience. What do I do for me? And I choose to be able to make a decision based on what's best for me, not from what I hear from everybody else. And even though I'm afraid of not being able to take care of myself if I do get sick, or a loved one getting sick or dying, right here, right now, I am safe. And as far as I know, they are safe. And all we have is the now. And I love and accept that I care so much about people. And I'd like to let go of some of this activation. How much longer is this going to last? I'm afraid, eyebrow point. I'm sorry, I was on top of that eyebrow point. I'm afraid it'll never end. Side of the eye. I'm afraid I won't get to see my family. And under the eye. I'm afraid that I'll never be able to see anybody's smiling face again when I'm out in public. Under the nose. How much longer? It's just really, really frustrating. And I'm going to do another round on some of these other fears about censorship and all, but right now I want to focus here. How much longer will it be before I can see my family? And I'm afraid for my family. And I'm afraid for myself. And at least I know I have tapping and other energy techniques. Eyebrow point and side of the eye to at least help me in the moment. And under the eye. But I'm really concerned about censorship under the nose and loss of individual freedom. I'm concerned about all of the, there was something else that was here, sorry. Shutting yourselves out. Somebody asked, where was I tapping under, after I tapped under the arm? I've always used the under the breast point. And so I just naturally went to that. So the under the breast point is right under the breast. And so I just automatically did that. So I'm worried about losing our freedoms. Worried about mandated vaccines. Worried about being separated. And all the controversies. And all, I'm sorry, under the eye, all the controversies and under the nose, all the conspiracies. Gosh, there's just so much to be worried about. No wonder I'm exhausted. Collarbone. I'm tired of worrying about all these things. And I really like to let them go. I'd like to be able to just let go of some of these worries and some of these distressing beliefs. And I'm back to under the breast. All I can do is all I can do. And all I can do is enough. Those of you I've been coaching know that's one of my favorite statements. It's the name of a book. And that's true. All I can do is all I can do. And all I can do is enough. So take another breath. And I'm sorry if I missed anything. Let's see. And just check in with your body and see where you are now. And we've got about 6 or 7 minutes. And just if there's something I've missed that you'd really like us to do a little bit of tapping on, or something that you found particularly helpful, you can write that in. I've really appreciated being able to tap along with you all today.
Lorna, how about I am safe?
Okay, we can, all right, so do a sneaking away with I'm safe. Okay. Anybody else? Went down from a 10 to a 6. Answering questions is helpful, good, okay. And somebody gained weight, yeah. And how about all of us doing what, that's a good way to add to, doing what we can to keep it from spreading, okay. So, so even though, tapping back on the side of your hand, even though we have all these fears and all these distressing beliefs, and they really have been getting in our way, I would like to feel that right here, right now, I am safe. In this moment, in this very moment. And even though people can't see me smile, I love this, Sandy, thanks. I am smiling and shining brightness to them as I pass them by. Yes, because we can smile with our eyes, even if we can't smile, we don't see the mask. So even though I can get caught in all of the distressing thoughts and worries, I can also choose to take care of myself and do some tapping or something that helps me feel safe and calm. Because that's where I have a choice, is what I do. Okay, so Mary has a question. I'll answer that after we get through this round. So even though all of these feelings and beliefs and thoughts are distressing, we know that tapping on these acupuncture points reduces the cortisol, reduces the adrenaline, increases the serotonin, increases the dopamine. So that's where we have some power. We can tap on the points. We can do other energy work. And we can help release the toxic feelings that don't help us, that don't serve us. Yes, concern is important. You know, doing what you can to stay safe and help to keep other people safe. I'm sorry, I've not been repeating. I'm just kind of downloading, trying to think of all the things I can add here. I can choose to do something, I'm on the chin point, choose to do something joyful every day, no matter how small. Yes. Well, I have to just tell you real quick, my son has chosen to make up these little cards. There's one, and here's another one. And every place he goes, he passes them out. So this one that says, thank you for being here says, smile and the world smiles with you. The one that says, thank you for your kindness and your smile. It says on the back, there's a picture of Pooh, leave footprints of love and kindness on every step of your journey. So he's chosen to get these cards make up, and everywhere he goes, he passes them out. And we've passed them out. He lives here near us. And so people are now in our area. I live in a fairly small town. In our area, people say, "Oh, I'm correcting these," and I love to see it. And somebody put it in their badge. And so spreading that smile, even if you can't see the face, you can see that, the eyes, and spreading it with your heart, sending that heart energy out. And so, let's see, creating a calm, strong, smart, strategic immune system. Yes, I will tap that too. And can we copy him? Yes, please do. He gets them on Vistaprint. He just goes in and it's a 2x2 card. I shared it with another group I was in, and you can put your own pictures and your own sayings. And we just spread the word that, especially, there's so many people out there, the grocery store and all that have to be there. And so I always want to say how much I appreciate that they're there. Like, I appreciate your being here. Positive emotions are contagious. Where can we get them? So it's Vistaprint, which is an online thing. Okay, so even though I've had all this, have had all this stress and concern and fatigue because of COVID, I choose to create a calm, strong, smart, strategic immune system. Thank you, Sandy. I choose to create a calm, strong side the eye, under the eye, strategic under the nose, immune system, and chin point. And I choose to share positive emotions. And I choose to do something joyful every day, no matter how small. And I choose to share my love with the world. To take a breath. So, and I know someone had a question about, wouldn't it be better for our nervous systems if we said something more positive? Well, moving to the positive after you've addressed this, the negative or what is, moving to the positive really does help that. So it's not just getting rid of the negative, it's increasing the positive. Oh, Mary Ellen, hi. This has been lovely. Thank you for joining us and joining me, and sending lots of love. And I don't know who's doing the one next month. I'll be doing this again sometime later in the year, I hope. So thank you all for responding and being here. Hugs to everyone. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So if you wanted to save the chat for any reason, I'm going to. There's 3 little buttons down by file there, and you can save the chat. So if there's something you heard and you want to tap along with, you feel welcome to do that. Someone says, I've been doing Dawson's Boost Your Immunity tapping, and it helps. Touches on theta, delta waves, reduces cortisol, all kinds of good stuff. Thank you, reminding me of the positive things in my life. Oh, good, I'm glad. So, well, thank you all. Many blessings to you, and thanks for
Thank you,
being
Laura.
here. You're welcome.
Nice to see you.
Thank you
you.
so much.
You're so welcome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.